Today we have the Arylic LA-50, a little box that makes a lot of promises. An amp, audio streamer, USB DAC, and then some. It looks great, but does it live up to the hype and the price tag? We're going to look at every aspect, and you'll know if it's for you by the time we're done. Stick around.
Let's go into the Monroe world.
Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here. Arylic reached out to me and offered to send me this little guy for review, and I turned them down. I'm not a music streamer outside of my own Plex server, which this doesn't support, not really, but they persisted, saying this device isn't just for streaming and could really upgrade my PC's audio as well. Having recently done some reviews of USB DACs using my PC as a test bed, I was suddenly curious. I had some other possible uses too, so eventually I relented and they sent the unit over free of charge, zero expectations for my review. As we unbox this thing, it's immediately notable as a very sleek and cool looking, although a bit smaller than I thought, device. It's far lighter than I expected, and honestly, despite being 2026, my brain always associates light audio equipment with cheap, poor audio equipment. Just a byproduct of living my teen years in the 80s. Its very simplistic front panel belies the claims of being an all-in-one music hub. After all, how much can you do with a single knob? Let's take a look at the back and see where the true power lies. On the back, we have real speaker connectors for two speakers, left and right, an optical in port, RCA phono-type plugs for a turntable or other device, a subwoofer out to complete the 2.1 audio experience, HDMI in for a TV, USB for a drive of music, a LAN port for quality networking, a PC DAC for your computer, and a reset button. Finally, a barrel plug for power. Power is provided with a breakout box, and the three-prong power cable is included. The power adapter is a nice long cable, and a remote is included, but you're providing your own batteries this time. The manual is above average with color and mostly clear instructions. Very nice. So you've seen the thing. Here's the deal though. I don't care about streaming, never have. So what am I going to do with this thing? My PC was using a creative soundbar over USB, so I figured a nice DAC should be able to upgrade my audio quality on that front. Plus, that big-ass bulky thing is taking up room where this LA-50 and my SMSL CD player could go, giving me a media hub right on my desk for the same amount of room. I do have a TV in my office, but it may not have the HDMI ports to handle this situation, so that would be a bonus if it worked. But I do have a turntable currently plugged into my huge-ass RX-75 boombox, which does the job well, but it is bulky and unwieldy. Plus, I don't have the remote to easily flip it between inputs. Running a set of patch cables from the record player to the LA-50 would be easy enough if it works. So that gives me PC, turntable, CD player, and maybe my TV all in one cute little box. Now that said, this is just an amplifier. I'll need some speakers. The LA-50 will push up to 50 watts, so I labored tirelessly on Amazon looking for a set that wouldn't break the bank and was still highly rated. I landed on this pair of RioWois bookshelves for about $36 and some banana adapters if I decided to use them. These are pretty nice little guys with rear output port, removable grills, and standard speaker wiring, along with nice little mounting brackets. I didn't add a subwoofer yet. I wanted to see how I got along with these first, since my area isn't really conducive to plopping a sub in there. I went ahead and pre-cut some of my existing speaker wire, complete with cat chew-proof outer protection. I'll link all this crap in the description in case any of it strikes your fancy. And then I wired them up. Now, my layout on my desk is conducive to dropping the unit and speakers in without any sort of nonsense, so it was nice to prep this ahead of time. The CD player I'm going to be using is the SMSL PL100. It's an earlier unit. I have a review of this guy in the upper right for you, several videos actually. Gapless playback, what a deal. It has optical out, and I already have USB power available right at my desk, so this is a no-brainer. Size-wise, it will symmetrically offset the LA-52. More about that in a minute. We have everything in place. The LA-50 sits to the left of my primary monitor support, and the SMSL sits to the right, and they look great sitting together like that. The speakers are flanking my monitor, the left is fully exposed, and the right needs to lay on its side to project onto the monitor. Even standing upright, it sounds fine. Now the hardware is set up. Let's get into the meat. The simplistic front face contains an RGB type LED bar that serves several purposes. It's color-coded to the current input. This purple color is PC USB. Network playback is white. Bluetooth is blue. Line in is green. Optical yellow. HDMI, whatever this color is, red for USB port flash drive. Now this can be toggled with the knob on the front. One short click toggles to the next one. The remote also has a toggle button. The numbers you see down here are not inputs. They are exclusively for use with Spotify. The only way you can directly select the input is with the phone application. I made a critical error during setup. See how there isn't room for all the inputs here on the app? You can select them all, but the one for USB DAC isn't there. Somebody not paying close enough attention might assume that the USB logo you see here is for the PC USB DAC. If you don't have the color chart memorized, you may believe that your PC USB isn't working. Turns out the USB plug option requires you slide the controls over to the right. Oh, sure, it looks right now, but this caused tons of confusion for me and a few emails back and forth with our tech folks. Pair this up with the fact that my PC's USB bus is pretty full and had some initial issues keeping connected. I had some frustrating hours with this, but thanks to watching this video, you will not. Many of you will be upset that the app requires a user account, and I can't fault you for that. I tire of the data harvesting. However, you could probably get by without it, using the remote fully instead. As usual, there are things in the app you can't do with the remote or on device, and unfortunately, this is par for the course these days. Setting up the app is fairly painless, and once I had it set up the way I liked, I rarely jump back into it. Even flipping inputs is easy enough with the knob or remote now. We're going to come back to the app in a bit. PC USB DAC, chips are on the screen, 24-bit, 192K, entry level. Damn, but entry level's still an upgrade for most of you, unless you already run a DAC or some fancy sound card on your PC. Nobody has that. For most folks, this does the job. As for Bluetooth, it's 5.0, SBC, and AAC. That's it. No aptX, no LDAC. iPhone folks, you're fine with AAC. Android, you're going to suffer a little bit with SBC. But look, I got $35 speakers on this thing. Nobody's chasing audiophile gold here. Decent utility, that's what we've got. There was a use case I thought about using this for, and since I figure some of you may be interested too, I did want to discuss this. Let's say you're on your phone and you have an audio app like Plexamp or Spotify. You can easily cast the audio to the LA-50 with the standard Google Cast icon. But if you're watching YouTube and you want to cast the audio of YouTube to the LA-50 while you're watching on your phone, it isn't available. So any audio with Google Cast support, yes. Video like YouTube or VLC, no. Now, of course, you can use Bluetooth to get around this, but the sync of the audio and video will likely be off, maybe a little, maybe a lot. Line in worked fine with my turntable, a budget Insignia Bluetooth model, maybe $130. Nothing fancy, but do note that this has a built-in preamp and not every turntable does. If yours doesn't, you may have issues here. For other types of input, you'll probably be fine. Optical in for the CD player worked a real treat. Sounds great, and I have a remote for that player as well, so futzing around with the front controls isn't too difficult because they are kind of hard to see. Although the insert and eject is a bit tight in this space, but it still works out. I really enjoy having this right at my workstation to check out my new thrift purchases without having to hit up the boombox. Right, so my physical devices are all nice and neatly hooked up and hella convenient to access now. Oh, and because someone is going to ask in the comments, no, you cannot dim the LED on the front, but you can shut it off, but only in the phone app. It is sort of a pain to find, but I'll show you on the screen right now exactly how to get there. It's worth noting that the public firmware out there right now at the time of this video, the feature is broken. They sent me beta firmware to test. There is OTA upgrades available, so it should be fairly seamless for you guys. I had to do it by hand. But what about you folks here for the streaming part of the equation? Between network and Bluetooth streaming, pretty much every base is covered. But this device is slanted to Spotify, and you'll understand more in a minute. First off, there is a rather convenient browse on the app that will get you to some online music streaming fast. For those of you that like listening to the radio, there's a bunch of that in here, a lot, actually. Getting in is super fast and easy, and you can be listening to something in under a minute. There is an audience for this, and you are well cared for it here. Now, back to those numbers on the remote and the preset items found in the app. These are for Spotify only use and can be tied directly to your playlist in Spotify. It is clear that this device is Spotify streaming first, and for many of you, that isn't a bad thing. And I'll be honest, these presets are actually fairly attractive, even to someone like me. To use this feature, you'll need a Spotify account. Free account will do if you can deal with the advertisements. Good Lord. And up to 5 playlists can be stored for the remote, or 10 if you're willing to use the app presets instead. Spotify needs to be installed on your phone, at least initially, and logged into your account. Find and start playing a playlist on your account and stream it over to the LA-50. But here's the trick, and you might be watching the video just for this. You must use Spotify Connect, not Google Cast, or this doesn't work. Once you have everything aligned and your devices shows the playlist is playing, nip over to the presets, long press one of them, and the playlist is set. Now you can summon that playlist directly from the app, and the first 5 are available on your buttons on the remote. The best part, your phone can be turned off, and the LA-50 handles the Spotify Connect setting automatically. I gotta admit, I'm not a streaming guy, at least not like this. This is pretty damn cool. What I need is this functionality, but for Plex, and my life would be complete. By the way, many boffins died to bring you the preset information. When set to auto instead of Spotify Connect, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Now, you won't waste the hours I did trying to make this feature work reliably. Hopefully, the folks over at Arylic will somehow make this a little more clear in the app and in the instructions. There are more sources to be found under Browse that might look interesting. Your locally stored music, like if you were ripping Goodwill CDs with your phone, see the video above, that is accessible. There is a URL stream for those that know and can use that. And finally, there's a NAS option. So what about that NAS option? If you have DLNA set up on your network, I have it turned on for my Plex server for this video, then you will see that feed available. Your Plex playlists aren't there, but genre, artist, albums, and all those goodies are. So your locally stored personal music on your Plex or any other DLNA solution is available. Tidal and Qobuz are also available, but are fairly useless without a subscription, neither of which I have. I was on a trial version for Spotify. That's the only reason you don't see me wading through boatloads of ads during this video. And that, my friends, is that. The Arylic LA-50, top to bottom. I don't use Apple products, so I couldn't show you AirPlay, and frankly, my needs for this device and Google Home weren't worth the effort of trying to get it set up. If you're just dying to see that, let me know in the comments down below. Final verdict, is this device for you? For the serious audiophile, it may not make sense. It is a jack of many trades, but it doesn't master anything. The closest it gets to mastery is the Spotify integration, which is indeed impressive. For optical line in, it works fine as an amplifier if 50 watts is enough power for you. If you really want the subwoofer experience, let me know in the comments below. Chances are the serious audiophile has component equipment that far exceeds this little guy. What about for the streamer only? If Spotify is your game, 100%. For a student in a dorm room, a small apartment, always online, folks, this does make sense, and it's probably who the device was initially designed for in the first place. Excellent starter system that Gen Z can grab a low-cost turntable and have a means of actually playing that Taylor Swift vinyl that they bought from Target. I think the real power of this device is exactly what I did with it. Augmenting a fully powered system, normally in the living room or man cave, in a new location, like an office or a den, while giving a massive number of options to integrate what is already there, or offering opportunity to add something new, like a turntable or a DAP, or upgrade the den television from crappy TV speakers to something a little more beefy. I don't do reviews to tell you what to buy. I do these reviews to explain what the product does and what it doesn't, and give you all the data you need to make an informed decision. Of course, leave your comments below with questions. If you have one of these, leave a comment telling your fellow viewers where you hit a wall. or maybe your own niche use cases. I will tell you with full confidence, this setup is staying in place on my desk. I gave the creative away to my son for his PC, and I've been enjoying my vinyl and CDs in a new way while having a centralized amp for everything. That's going to do it for me for this one. I hope you enjoy these deep dives into equipment you're interested in. If you love what we're doing, go ahead, sub up, hype the video, give it a thumbs up, engage in the comments. If you're not loving what we're doing, your constructive comment below will 100% be seen. Your contributions are appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Take care, and we'll see you next time.